Johnny, actually, they brought the wine, not the beer, so it's all good.
Welcome to the virtual Campground Live. How do we sound? Are we on?
Well, we'll be on in like 10 seconds, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're on.
Hey there. Welcome from, where are we? Montrose, Colorado.
Riverbend
RV Park.
in
No,
Montrose.
not KOA. I don't think it's a KOA. Is it a KOA?
No, I think
it's not a
is.
KOA.
No.
You take that back.
Riverbend.
It's just a regular old riverbend. It's a beautiful, as you can see, there's a river.
There's a river.
And it does bend. Bends right over there.
It bends and the ducks go flying down it. Good. Thank you, Brian. Level is good. Awesome. So we are here at Riverbend in Montrose with the Padgetts. They're live and in person, all three. So if you hear a high-pitched sound, it might be Ellie. She's just having fun playing around us. So.
Or Heath.
Or Heath, yeah, you never know. So all good, either way. So no, we have not been fishing, Johnny. I don't fish.
I did see some people fishing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
does that count?
No, I don't think it does. Because I wouldn't know what to do with the fish once I got the fish.
Yeah.
When you join us, Johnny, you can show me how to fish and what to do with the fish.
That's right.
Once that we have the fish. Yes, exactly. In your bucket. So.
Well, it might be Barry as well.
Squealing,
that's true.
right.
It could be. I've been known to squeal.
Yes.
So we have had quite a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have. So y'all know that last week we didn't have a show. We had to cancel it in the morning because our Jeep decided suddenly to just not work. Just not even turn over anything. We thought it was a starter. It was not, for those of you that were willing to help us with the starter.
No, it turned out to be a pretty simple fix.
Yeah,
but,
just needed a new battery.
So that
towing
wasn't too
was
bad.
involved.
It was just the 2 weeks before where we had to get the radiator fixed and a new water pump and new tires, that kind of.
Yeah, and then after the Jeep got all fixed and all better, then what happened?
The shower broke, and
Yes.
I have pictures
We have
to prove
visuals.
it.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know,
so-
Mark, not the Jeep. But
Yeah.
look, this while I was in the shower, this broke off on top of my head.
Yeah, so this, by the way, is the thing on the right is a elbow, LL.
I don't know.
Heck,
It's
I
the thing
forgot
the
the
water
name of
comes
it.
out
Yeah,
of.
exactly. And it snapped off inside of there, and you can't find those very easily in Montrose. So we've been struggling a little bit, but yeah, I've got it.
So don't worry, we have showered.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. I have it patched back together, and so we're going along fine now, showering
And everything, exactly. So, yes. So, we also wanted to let you know, what have we seen this week? So it hasn't all been bad. We are in Montrose, and it's beautiful here because it is fall in Colorado.
Yeah, and we timed it so we'd get here. And this is a trip we took down Last Dollar Road.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful?
From Ouray actually technically from Ridgeway over to Telluride. And it is stunning. And in the outro, we have a few pictures from a quick little ride I did down County Road 7. So, got some really beautiful scenery around here right now. We call it the fall colors, just perfect.
Just right, yeah. You've been here scouting for a workshop for next year that we're going to do here in Colorado. And Mark, I know, right? This is like the fall to the spring when we were here together. So it's really pretty. You don't have smell-o-vision. Thanks, Johnny. We care.
Yeah, we care.
And the Padgetts might care because while we are socially distanced from them, we are still close enough that they would catch us.
We have to sit pretty close together to do this show, so Deborah cares that I shout.
I do. And also speaking of the Padgetts, we were here the first weekend we were here. We met up with the Padgetts and several other people, and so I think you have a picture of all of us
we took
on
a hike.
Yeah, we went up to the Black Canyons of Gunnison National Park.
This is the only downhill part of the hike.
Everything else
was uphill both ways, but it wasn't a bad hike at all. And
it ended at the point.
Yeah, we ended at the point.
Yep.
Do you remember the name of the point? It was named after some guy.
Warner.
Warner Point.
Warner Point.
Yeah, Warner was so important they named a point after him. And then we went to a brewery because after a hike, what do you do?
They all ended. I thought hikes ended at breweries.
Yeah, I did too, but Warner did not install one at the end of that hike.
National Park didn't.
And then we all came back and hung out around the campfire.
Yes.
So a lovely time was had by all.
All. Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
So it's been a busy couple of weeks.
Yeah. So the question of the week for everybody this week is, where have you found the best fall color?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be this year. It could be last
We have
year.
seen some gorgeous pictures in the group and Facebook. Mark, I know you've taken a few shots up in the Northwest. It's been, yes, a great season for fall
It
weather.
is. Yeah, the aspens are gorgeous.
Yeah, you can't really see them. Over to our left, there's some beautiful. Behind us, there's a beautiful target. Over to the left, there's some beautiful fall colors. Yeah. Don't ask me why we arranged it this way.
The sun. Okay, so we have lots to talk about today with Padgett, so let's get on with the news.
Okay.
Please welcome Deborah for Deborah's News.
I feel very backwards. So I'm usually on your other
we
side.
are on the wrong
so
side.
yeah, so I'm feeling very everything's too far away. So anyway, so the first thing I want to let you all know is that Camping World and Good Sam have announced that Trailer Life Motorhome are now going to be discontinued. If you get those magazines, which I didn't. They're still
didn't even
printing
know there was a
magazines.
magazine.
Who
Yeah,
knew?
who reads magazines?
I know, right? So these are going off at the end of the year, and they're coming back with a brand new RV.com, which will include, again, a magazine, but also a full digital platform that's going to have lots of information on RVs, new RVs, health on the road. It sounds like they're going to have everything anybody could want.
Yes.
But please still stay tuned with us.
Yeah, get your news here, but also,
We'll just tell you what they say.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
Rootless Living,
Yes.
which we
Right.
talked to Damon a few months ago, and several publications out there, but this is an interesting new one to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then, okay, would y'all pay $409 to stay in this Airstream?
No. I would not.
There is a campground up in Falmouth,
Let's go with that.
Falmouth, Massachusetts. And this particular company, AutoCamp, they have a couple of them in different places, but definitely they have one now in Massachusetts that in the peak season, which is July and August, it is $409 a night.
Wow.
Now you can stay there on the cheap at $129 in March, but then you might have snow. So yeah, kind of crazy. I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
not
per
for mine.
night, per night, Johnny.
But look,
per night.
you get a hat on the chair.
I don't
so
think that
you
hat
get to
or
wear
towel
that
come
hat
with
while
it.
you're- that's
No.
nice.
Hey, Whitney.
Hey, Whitney.
Yeah, so for
so-
sure. I just thought that was. I mean, our friends Britton and Josh
Yeah,
are
that's
doing
what it
Airstream,
reminds me
and but I don't think they're going to charge anybody $409. But who knows? Maybe they will.
Yep.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Yes, I think so. So then the other news was just in general campgrounds. I know everybody's feeling this, but they are more crowded, and now there is proof. Track and Trails has found that the U.S. State Park campsite reservations are booked up to the end of 2020, which is unusual.
I don't know.
And that
I've
people
seen
are already
that.
booking up 2021. I know.
I've seen
I haven't
openings and-
feel it, but boy, everything I read tells me campgrounds are full. I mean, this campground we're
This
in right now is
campground
not
has space in it.
weekends were free,
Yeah,
but
weekends are-
so I think that's probably but they are saying people are reserving and booking up campsites months earlier than normal, so that's interesting. And speaking of campgrounds, New Mexico state parks have finally reopened, but only to New Mexico residents. So they will start letting people reserve starting October 1st, and they can overnight camp available online. But you do have to have a New Mexico license plate in order to stay at one of the state parks.
Do not steal one, John.
And and the visitor center and shower facilities are closed.
Ellie, no ma'am.
So you do have to do something.
To have your shower that works.
And then we've heard so much, we've talked a lot about all the different fires in California and Colorado, but there are some good news, sad good news, but nice things. So RVers have been helping out with the fires in that they have been donating their RVs to some people that have been caught in fires or lost a house in fire. This particular lady is a firefighter. She was fighting fire in Campfire, and as the
Is that the name of the place?
that's the name
Oh,
of the
that's the
fire.
name of the fire.
Campfire. Yeah. And they were put in evacuation, and her home was actually burnt down. So a former firefighter who had an RV drove it up and is letting her stay on it. She gets to stay on her own land, but she's now staying in this.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that's really nice.
People
So
are
anyway,
good most of the
there is a
time.
GoFundMe page even to help Catherine. This is the name of this firefighter. So that's nice. People are being good to each other, even in the midst of all this fire.
RVers are good people.
RVers are very good. Yes. So that is the news.
Yes. It's gorgeous. So Teresa Ott says,
Yeah, it's not $409. No, it's gonna.
Well, we didn't get to see the rest of this.
It's at Airstream. We know exactly what the inside is like. I just can't even imagine.
This is very sweet. Mark says
Hi,
hello
Whitney.
to
Are
Whitney.
y'all not in the same place? Yes. Oh, and Marsha, I agree. Vermont has beautiful color. And y'all are up there right now, right? So you should be having beautiful color as we speak. Okay. Are we ready to talk to our friends?
I think so. I think so. I think Ellie's ready.
Ellie's ready. Yeah.
All right. I would like everyone to give a nice warm Texas welcome to Heath and Alyssa and Ellie Padgett.
Yay! They're literally right across the picnic table from us, folks. So if we're looking at each other instead of the camera, please understand that that's what we're doing, because it feels very strange to talk to somebody through a computer.
Yeah.
When they're sitting.
And they're gonna be busy keeping.
Yes, and Ellie's joining us, and so this is gonna be very fluid. We all know what it's like to have a toddler. So let's start there.
Yeah.
So y'all have been RVing for years. How does it feel to be RVing now with a toddler?
I don't know that this year is like a good
It's not a good
baseline.
indicator because it's like everything has changed other than having a kid.
Right. Yeah, that's true. COVID. Hashtag. Whatever.
We have a lot more. We have a lot more laundry.
Yes.
Do you have a lot more
Really?
stuff? Because usually, like when we're in the sticks and bricks, a lot of stuff comes with babies. But I assume in RVers they're a little less.
I do
stuff.
feel like we're constantly cleaning, but I don't know that that would be different.
But I don't feel like we have a ton of stuff for her. Like we
Yeah.
have one little bin of toys, and then she has one drawer.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the bath toys that we keep in the shower, those get strewn all 40 feet of the rig.
I would say for us, like one of the more challenging parts of RVing with Ellie has been like when we put her down for naps. We can never feel like we can talk at full volume. Although sometimes we'll open the door and just yell. Like when we're trying to wake her up, we're like yelling and like turn
It's
the
like,
lights on.
Ellie, wake up. Nothing. I'm like, why have I been whispering for 2
But
hours?
then sometimes we'll just be like tiptoeing around, like she's finally asleep. And yeah, anyway, so
There's a whole school of thought out there that you should not whisper. You should let music play so that they can learn to sleep through stuff like that.
so we did that like the whole first several months and all of that good stuff, and we
But now our peace is so much more valuable.
but now you hit a certain point where you're
Choosing
like,
the
she's finally asleep. I will literally do anything.
Exactly.
I don't
I
care
will
what
move
anybody
it.
says.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand
Yeah.
completely. Yes. So, okay, the show. Did Ellie? People see Ellie yet?
Oh, yeah.
Just the back of her head.
Yeah, well, the back
Okay.
of her head.
Ellie, say hi.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Keep
There we
Oh,
go. There's Ellie. And how old is she now?
16 months.
16 months. Good age. Good age. Okay, so just in case there might be one or two people that don't know who Heath and Alyssa are, we of course just say your names like everybody knows who Heath and Alyssa are. Why don't you tell folks who Heath and Alyssa.com are?
Well, we're a website. We got into this lifestyle where we get interviewed at campgrounds. Actually, this doesn't happen. This is like I don't know this has ever happened. But we bought an RV 6 years ago, and we took a cross country road trip on our honeymoon. It was gonna be like a one-off road trip and then go back and get jobs, but we enjoyed it so much so that we built a business. We were doing freelance video production. We did a documentary that first year, and then we started a podcast called The RV Entrepreneurial, kind of like interviewing and having conversations like this, like how'd you make this work and what made you want to choose this lifestyle, and that turned into the conference, which is where we met for the first time, the summit, and now it's 6 years later and we have a baby and we're still on the road. So I don't know if that hit all the high points, but yeah.
Because we met you. Let's see, it's now been 3 years, right? Yeah, 3 years ago. Y'all were. I don't know whether to thank you or hit you. That you are the reason I now live in the road.
So before we hit the road, I was doing research, and there were several couples, families that were on my radar you being one of them, the Holcombs and
KYD.
KYD, yeah, Mark and Tricia with KYD. And then, every now and then I would say, Deborah, look at this. Look what.
So then we went to
They can do it.
Fredericksburg and met you guys and had a little tiny R-Pod because we didn't have an RV yet. And then somehow I now live in an RV. So there you go. Who knows what'll happen, right? So we met you three girls at the RV. That was y'all's second one. So you had 4 of them more or less.
Yeah,
We'll get
3
to
and a
that.
half.
Yeah.
3 in person, 1 virtual.
Yeah, exactly.
And though I think I've told y'all this, there was many of us, including many people that are watching right now, that went to this last one in Guntersville and got COVID. Where
we
didn't
did not
get it.
COVID.
No,
Yeah, let's be clear.
Nobody got
Nobody
it.
got
Very
We canceled
clear.
it.
but the conference got hashtag COVID.
Yeah.
And so it ended up being virtual. But those of us that stayed in the campground had so much fun.
Oh, yeah. It
So
was-
you put on a great conference whether you were there or not.
yeah.
From talking with a lot of people who've been on the road this year, I think one of the silver linings has been if you were full-time in your RV like us. Like, we had one other couple that was at our campground for the month of April when everything felt very heavy, and it was really nice just to have people around
Yes.
during that time.
To take
it was.
shelter from tornadoes.
Yeah, that too.
Shelter.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
exactly.
Tornadoes. And it was an interesting month of April, yes. But I do think it brought all of us really more together. And because we were all together, we felt safe talking and being
Yeah,
with one
totally.
another. Because
Yeah.
we had been
We
all in
were
the same
isolated.
places. We were isolated together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it was still a great
It was
conference.
And I got a
And-
T-shirt.
There you go. And we've got about 150 more if anybody watching wants a t-shirt.
All they have to do is come to Montrose, drive through Montrose, stop, and you get a T-shirt.
I think I overheard you say this is the first year you decided to put a year on the T-shirt.
We've
We've never put RVE Summit. We've never put a year on there. We're like, we want this to be a shirt that you can wear anywhere all the time, and it's not that branded conference feeling.
Right.
This year we were like,
Go all
it
in.
needs something at the bottom. Oh, let's put RVE Summit 2020, and it was really stupid.
Yeah, and that's why we had to cancel our conference.
Yeah, that's it. It was
Murphy's Law.
the thing that
Come
caused
to the
it.
collector's item. At the next one, you'll be able to sell those for twice the price.
Oh gosh.
So okay, so I'm gonna go back. So y'all got an RV. I mean, literally, actually, before you got married, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Because you
Yep.
went in
6
it
weeks.
immediately afterwards.
Yep.
So y'all have never not basically. I mean, you had a few months in an apartment. I know when.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pregnant, but essentially, you've lived in an RV your entire married life.
Yep.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It'll be good to have some space.
I mean, I always thought our first year of marriage, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment and we had 2 bathrooms. And
We thought that was small.
I made him use the other one, and I thought that was the smartest thing for learning how to be married. So, do you have any hints on how to be together? Y'all are together a lot because you work together, you live together.
I think it's all we've ever known.
Yeah, it's good to not know anything different.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're missing, then you're
Then it's all
solid.
good. Exactly.
I mean, we still know that we're missing a dishwasher.
Yeah. Oh, dishwasher, man.
I miss a dishwasher too. Yes.
It would be so good.
Dishwasher would be
You
fun.
eat that piece.
Yeah, that's the one thing for the house I definitely.
I feel like this episode of Virtual Campground is going to be like when you go out to eat with your friends who have kids, and you're like, I'm going to get as much meaningful conversation in as I can in between
In between,
words.
it's all good.
Yeah.
She's like
It's all good.
extra talkative
That's
right
right.
now. She knows there's a tension
That's
coming
right.
to
She's like,
her.
oh yeah,
That's
she's been
all right.
quiet, hasn't said a word. No.
No, I think for us, it was kind of recognizing our own like needs and interests and taking time for ourselves. Like Heath loves to work, and I love to work less than he does. And so for him, like if he can go to a co-working space or go to a coffee shop and like clock a few hours on his own, and then I'm at home alone listening to the Office Ladies podcast, then it like we both get that fulfillment, so that then when we are together all the time, it's like we've still had our own private time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do the same thing. She'll make me leave the house and go to a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Fortunately, in this town, we have one with screaming Wi-Fi. I can't
He's
get
very
over it.
happy. He may never leave Montrose.
Plug for Montrose. The whole town has 1 gigabit fiber internet
That's
across the
incredible.
entire town. So if you're ever RVing through Colorado and you're like, I need to hunker down for a few days and get some work
This
done,
is it.
Montrose, yeah.
Because even in the park, you can just go sit in the park and you get Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's everywhere, in the air.
That's awesome.
And you are doing this Chamber of Commerce bid for Montrose because you're about to be a local, right?
Yeah, we're about to be locals. We did not know that was going to be in the cards this year, but my company, Campground Booking, took an investment this year, and part of the stipulation is that we would move and build our business in Colorado.
Right.
Specifically in a
Rural
Colorado. Which rural Colorado, like when you hear rural, you think like it could be small
Right.
town, whatever, but rural Colorado is like mountain town.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll go build my
that-
business
that
in a
didn't
mountain
sound
town in
bad at all.
Colorado.
No.
We went and visited Vail, and he's like, "How much money do we need to have?" I was like, "Way more, babe."
Yeah. We got a good price, but not that good price.
Montrose is affordable,
Yes.
but still pretty.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's so
So-
close to so much beauty.
So let's
Yes.
talk about that. So let's
Yeah.
tell everybody about what Campground Booking is.
So a few years ago, we started a software company called Campground Booking, and the whole idea was like when we were traveling around in our RV, we didn't like having to call campsites to make reservations, and we thought,
Who does?
yeah, there could be a better way. So we basically built a reservation system for parks, so it runs their whole property. They take online bookings. It makes their lives easier, and campers can book and know they have a site. So that's
Whoa.
she's fine. But that's what Campground Booking is.
We'll edit that part out. This is not live.
Yeah.
So and then you applied for, what was the name of this prize?
It was called Greater Colorado Venture Series, and it was hosted by the Greater Colorado Venture Fund. So they're a venture capital fund focused on investing in companies that are in like less traditional areas where people get invested. So they're, Silicon Valley and even the Front Range in Colorado, a lot of people invest more in companies in certain geographic regions, and they're trying to allocate.
AKA big cities.
Yeah, big cities. So they're trying to allocate funds towards people building companies in other parts of Colorado because you can work from anywhere.
Yeah.
So
We've
Yeah.
all learned that this
Yeah.
year.
And it was kind of like a Shark Tank kind of thing, right?
yeah, basically,
You did
yeah.
a presentation.
Yeah, it was. Actually, they had a pitch coach. I'd never done a pitch series, but they had a coach, so it was like,
She's unbuttoned my shirt.
okay,
We'll edit that out.
it's okay. So basically, they work with you and tell you, like, here's how you establish and tell about your business, share your story, and then they tell you on the live stream, like, if you won, basically.
So,
And you won.
yeah,
Big.
We did win,
was that
yeah.
literally the first time they had heard your pitch?
No, so they had heard it before,
Okay.
so there was like a due diligence
It's
process,
like, a
basically.
funnel
Yeah,
to get down to the
Yeah, it
top
was.
eight.
That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so they basically had like a few weeks to a month. So they were like, okay, they got over 100 applications. They narrowed it down to the top 7.
Okay.
And then after that, they kind of did diligence. So they got like access to our books and made sure that it wasn't like a phantomware, whatever it's called.
That is so
That it was-
Front money laundering.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I thought you took did you know ahead of time that you had won?
No.
Because you took
took
it
it very
really
well.
well. Like I would have been like, my
You
jaw
knew
would have
ahead
been
of
open.
time of the live stream that they stream.
Oh, but when you saw my reaction,
Yeah.
that was the first time I'd heard.
Yeah.
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 You took it really well. Like,
Really?
Okay, yeah.
I thought I was like, I thought I was pretty excited.
We have like a nanny cam set up in the RV just to catch his reaction. Because when you're in those situations, like you never really remember
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
you react, and he's just like, I had a really dumb reaction. So we're all like huddled over the camera, like replaying him going, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I throw my head back when I get
Yeah.
excited.
Now you know. Yeah.
Yeah, now I know.
Now I just think if somebody told me I got $300,000, I would have fainted. So you handled it very well.
Yeah,
You did.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
that was
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
appreciate it.
Yes. Yes. Johnny says there's no trees in Vail, so you didn't want to move to Vail.
Exactly. Thanks, John.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
right.
I don't think that's right. I think Vail has
There's
a lot of
no
room.
trees.
Yeah, that's okay.
No one gets shade.
So Campground Bookings is what you're really focused on right now.
Yep.
And for that, you actually got a house somewhere around here.
We're in the
Pending.
process
Pending,
of looking.
yes, we're
Yeah.
hoping.
We might.
Looking at houses. And but you have done many, many things before this. And I think I remember hearing on one of y'all's talks that basically Heath has an idea a day. At least one. Yes.
Yep.
What's
yep.
been your craziest idea that maybe you didn't follow through?
working a job in every country after our first year on the road. So our first year on the road, we did Hourly America, and I worked a job in all 50 states. And after that, I was like, we should work a job in every country.
Of course.
I'm so glad we didn't do that. It would have been so much work.
Literally, Monster.com was like, would you be interested in taking this?
Oh, that's true.
worldwide?
Oh my
forgot
God.
about that.
They did.
And I was like, yes. And Heath was like, I have 100 other business ideas I'm pursuing at the moment, so we can maybe put a pin in this. And I'm like, dude, opportunity, okay?
I forgot about that. That did happen, yeah.
Sorry to bring that up.
We were tired at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
you're like,
So
okay.
we're like, can we take a nap
Anybody
first?
who's like RV'd for a year, their first year, they're like, oh, I traveled way too fast or whatever. That was us.
Well,
for sure.
because you spent 1 month in each. No, not even a month.
One day.
1 day in each state, basically, to get.
Well,
to
each job.
Yeah.
So we would some
we
days.
averaged three
like,
days per state.
In bigger states, we would spend like longer. Like in California, we spent a week. North Dakota, we spent 9 hours.
Yeah.
So we just kind of hit the bottom edge
Yeah.
of Fargo and just worked a day at a brewery and kept going.
Kept going
Yeah,
out.
because
Yeah.
you did all 50 states, all 50, right? In 1 year and 1 week.
Yeah, wow, that's impressive.
We were so close to making it all in 1 year, and it was 1 year and 1 week.
That's okay.
It's okay.
That's
okay.
okay. That's okay. It was still. So,
I care.
So the documentary was the first thing, the Hourly American documentary, and then it was you start being videotaped, right?
Yeah, we started doing freelancing for clients. So that first year, we didn't really know. Like, we got a sponsor that helped pay the bills that first year, and then after that, we had kind of learned video for a year and basically started getting paid for doing freelance video for clients. So we were doing like author book videos, conferences, weddings, basically like whatever. And we stayed put most of that year in mostly in one campground to kind of cut down on cost. And it's like we were getting our business going, so we were trying to spend less and figure out that part.
And student debt.
And pay down student
right.
debt.
And we had a lakefront campsite for $350 a month, and it was like,
It was
why
awesome.
would I leave this place?
Yeah.
It could have been.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
that was like a year where we really didn't travel much at
In
all.
2015.
Yeah.
Except we went to Hawaii, Alaska, California. We went all
Yeah, you
over
didn't
the
travel
country.
much.
Well, compared to your first year,
Yeah.
It's very relative.
Yeah, that's right.
Your first year was hardly
48
anything.
states.
Exactly. So, but the thing that's impressed me, well, many things have impressed me about you two, but one of the things is that you guys, like the video and the documentary, you had never done that before. You didn't have like experience. You
Skills.
taught yourself. You just have a can-do attitude of somebody tells you, hey, what about this idea? You figure out how to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
That has been a good theme. Yeah. I think RVing probably started that because it was intimidating to think about buying an RV and learning how to dump tanks and all that kind of stuff. And it was like we figured that out. It's like, okay, we'll figure out this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like when you talk about we don't know anything else as a couple, as a team, it was like that. I feel RVing
Right.
was a good precedence to set. Yeah.
But I love that y'all just, I mean, people are often afraid of what they don't know and they're afraid of failing. And y'all don't seem to have that fear because you just go forward.
I'm afraid of failing.
Okay.
Well, like when we started, we were very much like 23-year-olds. So it's like failure is way less intimidating when you have nothing to lose.
Right.
Now that we've got like a kid, and like businesses with investment and stuff, it's like, oh man, one mistake and you're done.
I don't know.
You're
about
living
that,
in a
but-
trailer.
I guess
You know how to live in a trailer.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It is good to know that it's like, okay, that's the bar. It's like, well, what's the worst that could
That's right.
happen? Like, let's give it a shot and see where it happens. So
So when y'all graduated from college and started thinking about getting married and had this idea to get an RV, I mean, that was not a normal idea for 23-year-olds, especially right after getting married. What did your family say?
we told them in phases.
We did.
So
Very intentional.
we
phases.
kind of kept it to ourselves until we had a plan.
But
And
the hard part was like our wedding registry was very much catered toward we're going to live in an RV, and your wedding registry is on your wedding invitations. So we had to tell our parents before we sent out wedding invitations. Otherwise, it was like, what the heck? And my mom actually like got on Amazon. Apparently, she's like way more tech savvy than I realized. Gets on Amazon, searches for my name, finds my wedding registry without me sending her the link, and she's like, "Why'd you let Heath register for all this outdoor stuff?" I'm like, "Mom, we need to have a conversation."
Oh, no.
she was like, Heath just looks like he registered for a camping trip. for your wedding." And that's how they found out. So it started off small. It was like, hey, we're going to do this 3-month road
Right,
trip.
right.
And then it kind of
More.
ended up going for a long time. But I think the main thing for them was, one, like my mom was happy I just finished college. That was a big deal for her. So she was like, well, I don't understand why you'd want to leave a job, but at least you finished school, so whatever. And then on the other side, it was like, hey, are you going to be responsible adults and, take care of everything? And then we told them, like, hey, we found a sponsor for our honeymoon for this RV trip. And they were like, you found a sponsor for your honeymoon? And I was like, we were like, yeah. Like, okay.
Brush your dirt off your shoulders. Yes, I did.
So I think that was helpful. And then we kind of showed that we could make it work. So
yeah.
And there were points where, in retrospect, they've told us, like, there was one point during that first year when we were had a lot of things happen that we couldn't, we hadn't yet figured out how to fully finance the lifestyle and stuff, and our fridge went out, and instead of going out to buy it and replace it because we couldn't, we stuffed ice in the freezer every few days, and her dad told me a couple years ago, he's like, I really wanted to just buy and send you guys a new fridge, but I'm glad you sorted out and figured out for yourself. And so I honestly,
it makes a better story of we lived without a fridge for a month than my dad.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that's what he was thinking. It was good fodder for my book.
Johnny says responsible adults is so overrated.
Agree, Johnny. That and the trees. Actually, trees are underrated. We need trees.
I actually remember at that first RV we went to Summit in Fredericksburg, I met your father.
Oh yeah.
And he told me the story about
from his perspective
of how you came to him and told him that you were going to go off for a year in an RV, and he was like, and he's like, how are you going to afford that? And you came back and said, I'll get back to you with a plan. And then he came back and said, I found a sponsor, and he was thinking, how do you get somebody to sponsor your honeymoon? I think he thought maybe the sponsor was not a legitimate kind of company. Yeah.
He's a drug lord.
Yeah. Some sort of very strange people. Yeah, right. But he was very helpful in telling us that story. Yes. Yeah, it was cute. I think I told you that my best friend from 7th grade knew your father. They met at the coffee shop that he goes to. She volunteers there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So kind of fun. So I'll have to make sure she watches this because she'll be very curious. Yeah. Okay, so all of that, and then since then you've had the podcast, which is huge, and it's coming back, right?
I took a 6-month break, but
7 months.
Who's counting?
At a certain point, it's semantics. But yeah, I did the podcast pretty regular up until March, the week of our conference this year, and everything was going on, and it was
COVID. Just blame the COVID.
I'll blame whatever, but we were just feeling a little burned out, so I took a break, and it turned into a long time. But I miss doing the podcast a lot. I love talking to people and hearing their stories, and so
he gets bored talking to me every day.
Not about that, but I released 2 episodes today.
Okay,
so
awesome. Oh, great. Yes.
So now you've done 200 episodes of the podcast.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
Very good.
Congratulations. That is pretty cool.
Do y'all know anybody named Dana Padgett?
My
Dana
mom.
Padgett.
She says that she's looking forward to this interview, so happy she caught y'all too. Hi, kids. Say hi to Grandma, Ellie.
Say hi to Mia. Mia's watching. Hi, Mia.
Hey, what does Woody say?
Howdy. What does Woody say, Ellie?
Could you say it for Mia? Howdy.
These are the things that grandparents teach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Howdy.
That's nice. And Johnny tells your mom that you've got a great kid, spoil the heck out of that grandchild. She does. That's what grandparents are called.
Good job.
Okay, so podcast, you took off on the podcast, and then Alyssa, you wrote a book. Right?
This year?
Well, no. You have a book. And then I'm just trying to cover all the different things you guys have done.
Yeah. No, I actually started my second book this year,
Okay.
and then everything these past few months has been crazy with us finding out that we had to move to Colorado and everything, that I stopped working on it, and then you said I had a book, and I was like, no, I haven't finished it yet. But yeah, I do have a book on transitioning and very how-to of living in an RV, because like you said, whenever Heath and I, we had never camped in an RV before deciding we were going to do RV life. And to have someone to be like, this is the gray tank. Here is why you should dump it regularly before it goes all over your floor. That's helpful advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And then today y'all launched something. Do you want to tell people about that? Or yesterday? Yeah, today.
Yeah,
Very
this
recently.
week we launched a course on like how to start a business, like a 30-day, like here's all the steps from getting a business idea to validating it to finding customers to filing an LLC and all those things. For us, like from when we started RVing and like started trying to make money on our own to when we filed our LLC was like 3.5 years. Like it was just one of those things that it's like, that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Don't know how to have an address. Don't know how to do all those stuff. Like my CPA isn't like sending me straight to the IRS, so I feel like I'm doing okay there.
I filed an LLC in college. Like I knew how to do this, just for clarification.
Yeah, but did you do it?
No.
I don't remember.
We
been a
didn't.
while.
We didn't
Yeah.
until
We were just DBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sole proprietor.
Yeah.
Actually, you can't do DBA without filing as a sole proprietor. It's in my course.
That's in the book. That's right, in the course.
But yeah, we really wanted to help other people who, listen to the podcast. They're like, oh, I would love to get on the road, but my job can't be remote, or I hate my job and I would love to be on the road. How can I make money? It's like the ultimate question, right? How can I support myself, my family while traveling? And so kind of just putting all of our resources, like 200 episodes of the podcast and all the blogs and all of our own experience into one easy to find 30-day course so that you can work through it. And then we've got coaching calls and stuff in it
Oh,
too.
nice.
So
Oh,
you
that's
can
fairly good.
have someone to bounce ideas off.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, I lost it. I had a question there she was talking about. She was talking about all the modules, and it didn't. I lost it.
We'll come back to that. We'll edit this part out.
We're going to edit a lot.
we got a lot of people on this live show. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I saw that there was a course, and y'all, oh, I know what I was going to say. It doesn't have to be, it's not just for RVers, really, because it's for, these days, everybody wants to work remotely and start their own businesses. So I think really that course can be good for just about everybody.
Yeah, if you want to have that ability to work from anywhere, like for us, one of our big values whenever we're talking about different businesses and things that we want to do is, can we run this but also spend a month in Europe? Like that's like our go-to question, because if we don't have the systems in place or the freedom to be able to travel freely or to like work only like an hour a day for a month or something like that, then it's probably not the right business for where we are in our lives right now. And so last year we did go to Italy for a month, so I was like, okay, we're still doing good.
Okay.
This year Italy's closed, so.
Yeah.
Are you trying
What are
to
you doing?
She's tickling.
Getting sleepy, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, so and then the question lots of people want to know, because we know that y'all been on a hunt.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going for a campground? Y'all want to be campground owners. First of all, why? And then how's it going?
Yeah, so a few years ago when we were putting on our conference, probably in Fredericksburg, I think was the first time we talked about this idea.
Yeah.
And of all the things we've done, it to me is like, other than maybe hourly Americans, it's probably one of the things I've been most excited about. Like when we put on that conference, we were like, we realized we love hosting people. We like planning for months and thinking about where the food truck's going to go and what the handouts are going to look like and what emails we can send to people beforehand and like how to curate the like we just like the whole part of creating experiences and bringing people together. And so we started kind of dreaming up like what could it look like. And also in Fredericksburg we did like a pop-up co-working space in that area and like good internet, and I just remember thinking how meaningful it was for me, and I felt like it was for others, to be able to like spend so much time alone, right? And to be able to have other people around who have made similar choices and decided to go hit the road and do like kind of achieve this lifestyle. It was so cool. And I was like, well, what if we could build a campground where people could come through, spend some time, hang out in that type of atmosphere, whether they want to get some work done or just hang out or whatever, and then go do adventures. And that was kind of the core idea behind the campground. So, and this year we've looked at, that's like been a big goal. So find a park by the end of the year, hopefully. And we've looked at maybe 10, some like raw land, some that have existing parks on there.
We were really adamant that we wanted to buy an existing park, and then we found that like the values that they're selling at are really overinflated to where like a lot of the parks that we talk to that are for sale, they're not making any money. Like they're losing money or they're breaking even every year. And they're like, yeah, that'll be $3 million. And we're like, are you sure? The math in my head doesn't work out to that.
At least the ones that we've looked at specifically in the past few months. That's not
But we've
every
also
campground.
we've been looking in like
Colorado.
this gorgeous part of Colorado where of course the land's gonna be more expensive because there's a snow-capped mountain right there.
But we think we're getting close to finding one that could work.
Okay.
So
I hope so.
when we can hopefully share more soon.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think we're getting close.
Getting close. That's awesome. And I agree with you. I think, one of the downsides, I guess, of working out of an RV is sometimes you just miss that energy of being around other people.
Yeah.
So just even if you don't have to be working on the same thing, just even
Yeah.
going to a coffee shop,
Right.
sometimes
Just
you can get that
people
just
coming in and
energy.
out and
Yeah.
saying hi to
Absolutely.
people.
And I don't think the premise is like we live in an RV to work in an RV.
Right.
That's not the point. But if you are working on the road, then it's nice to sometimes be around other people to get excited, get energy, and then go spend a month or two in the mountains, like go do your thing. But to be able to be around people in that type of format, I think is helpful. And for me, it's almost like essential and healthy to be around other people. It gives me a lot of energy. It makes me excited.
Yeah, we recently did a boondocking thing out in Salida. Right? Yeah, it was 5 or 6 rigs and several people, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cool to hang out.
Absolutely, yeah. And we did know that y'all were looking for campground. So those of you that are on the chat, I think answered on TBC. We know the number one thing is Wi-Fi. So we know that what you of all people will absolutely know. We're hoping that you set a new model for campgrounds.
That's right.
That everybody else just has to follow.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Super blazing fast internet.
Exactly.
Blazing fast internet with good views. Like,
Yeah.
you need both,
Yeah, you
right?
need both. It's
Yeah.
hard to do, but you need both.
I want to look at a mound while I download massive files. Mwah.
Larry and Teresa say congratulations on your funding win.
Thanks, Larry.
guys.
Teresa.
Yes.
Johnny says, hit that thumbs up button.
So, okay, and then for many of us, the other big question that we want to know is RV Summit. So we know last year didn't go quite as what we thought, right? And y'all first said that was going to be the last one for a while, and then you sort of put it out there, well, maybe since this one didn't go, we'll do another
Yep.
one. What are y'all's
Yeah.
thoughts these days?
That when you're in the middle of like something really crazy and like you promise something really out there, like, hey, we're gonna plan
Exactly.
this event that takes 9 months to plan. We're totally gonna do it again.
Yeah, sure.
That's like still a big question mark. I remember Heath like throwing it out there like, this will not be the last one. And I was like,
Wait a minute.
are you sure?
Maybe not in that.
I spent 9 months saying this was the last one.
Maybe not in that format, but we had always planned to continue hosting events.
Yeah.
So, and I we wanted to do smaller ones, and so that is still like 100% part of the plan.
Yeah.
Is that whether it's the same format or not, like it might change. We might do more intimate, especially with the landscape of this year and what people are comfortable with moving forward. So my hope for this year was that we could if we were going to do another event, we could do it at our own place.
Yeah.
So that was the idea. So I'm still holding out that could be the scenario.
So if you were able to get a campground, maybe you have certain times of the year that you purposely say, okay, come for this specific event.
Yeah,
thing.
we've basically talked
Yeah.
about when we have our park blocking out like a week, like different weeks and different quarters, maybe like quarterly we have a week that we block off and we're gonna do an event, whether it's our event or somebody else's.
You can actually probably look in campground bookings, see like which weeks are like low occupancy
Yeah.
for
That's
like
right,
normal
exactly. Look
travel,
for
and then
those.
choose those
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
our
exactly.
Hard to find here in Colorado.
Yeah.
Low occupancy. I feel
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
always,
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, absolutely.
I
January.
never realized like how popular like van life was, and then you drive through a neighborhood in Colorado, every single driveway has a camping van.
You didn't know that van life was popular.
I didn't know that it was beyond Instagram. Like every
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
house has
Yeah.
their
You're
adventure
seeing
vehicle.
so many of them.
Oh, so
Yeah, every house in
Yeah.
Colorado really does have like
Everyone
a
in
van.
Colorado.
Well, and nowadays I
think
feel
it'll
like
fit
almost
in
everybody in America has.
Yeah.
The number of sales this last year. Just
Someone said, I think it was like a KOA report a couple years ago, that there's 3 RVs in America for every single campsite. So I'm like,
Oh, that's not
Or
Opening a
there
campground.
would be based on like the next 3 to 5 years.
after this year, I bet
well,
it's
Yeah,
because
I bet it's-
originally they had forecasted this was going to be a low year, and now it's super high year.
I think some, depending on where your park is, some parks did get hit this year. Like if they were in an area that people couldn't get to as easily, or was more closed down. But some parks were super busy.
No, but I meant RV sales just.
Oh yeah, totally.
RV
Yeah.
sales, like,
Yeah.
We should have bought stock and went.
Yeah, exactly.
We had
We
it.
should have. We had only known. But I've said that so many times in my life, I can't answer.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anybody in chat have a question for the pageants? Let us know. So,
Nope.
yeah.
Well, we did have one. Two people wanted to know the name of that campground you mentioned earlier.
No, I think they want to know this one.
Oh, well,
Riverbend.
no, this was back when they were talking
Oh.
about the one that was $390 for the month or something like that.
Oh, that one. 300.
Auto camp.
The what? No, yours that you said was $300 something a month.
It is no longer.
Yeah, it was Lake Travis. What was it called?
Camper
Resort on Lake Travis. Yeah,
But,
I think it's closed down right now.
yeah, they got flooded a few times after the drought in Austin and did.
And I don't think they're still open.
I don't think
Sorry,
they're
John.
Bummer. Sorry, Johnny.
Yeah.
Marsha.
I
But
know.
keep your
But
eye
hey,
on
go to
it
like
in case
rural
they-
Alabama, rural Texas. They're all that cheap.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, when we were in, that was one of the reasons all of us stayed in Alabama, Gunnersville.
Yeah.
So
It was $10 a month if you bought. We bought $100 a day because we bought for the whole month. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
great.
so cheap.
And it's pretty.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
it's
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
It's one of the prettiest that I think we've.
And there's a
stayed
brewery in town.
And there was at least one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention our next door neighbors were basically brewers.
Yeah.
Say hi to Grandma. What does she call Grandma?
Mia.
Dana, Mina.
Mia had another grandbaby today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got a new nephew today.
Very nice. Congratulations, Mia.
Thanks.
Dana.
So excited.
Do they know any full-timing landlord? Oh, do you know anybody that full-time RVs, but they have apartments that they're landlords? of
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
Whole bunch.
my friend Mike, who I had on the podcast, I think episode 187.
Good job.
Wait, 121?
No, he has 21 properties that he
21 properties,
manages from his RV.
And we know a lot of people that, like the owners of this park, are going to go travel for the next 5 months. So a lot of people that have seasonal parks will take off in the off season and basically go travel in their RV. So we know quite a few people who are landlords, or they either own short-term rentals or other types of assets
Yeah.
that RV.
And so, like the folks that own this, they're going to go off and like close it, or simply they'll have somebody watch it.
They have some work
Okay,
campers
work
here, but it's
campers.
mostly long-term people. So I mean, that are staying
Yeah.
for the winter. So it's not a lot of
Right.
overnight
Okay.
transient.
So Johnny, you
people.
can go look at his podcast, which is called
RV entrepreneur.
RV Entrepreneur, and look for the podcast with what was the
I
guest name?
think it's 187.
It's Mike and Layla.
Mike
yeah,
and
I think
Layla.
it's 187. Yeah.
So you go and listen to that, and then you get a little bit more information.
What was episode 122?
It was with me and Alyssa.
Oh,
No, I just lied. I don't know.
Make that.
But it could be.
Yeah, Johnny is working on becoming a full-time RVer. He's been selling things off. So, and then one of the things he has, I know, is a lot of apartments. That's what he does.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So yeah, absolutely.
cool. All right. Anything else?
So what else? What did we miss that
Yeah.
we didn't cover that you guys are doing or want to do or want to talk or anything?
Well,
If you're coming through Montrose, let us know.
we're here,
We're
for
here.
the foreseeable future.
And they can
Yep.
reach you at heathalyssa.com.
Yep.
Yeah, I think something for us that was different than what we planned this year. We kind of went into this year like we want to start a campground somewhere in America, and then we kind of narrowed it down to like Tennessee and Colorado, which are two states that we really love. And then COVID hit, and we were like, well, if we can't really like travel around, I'm literally right here. I'm right here. If we can really like travel around and like cross state lines without like judgment, basically, or safely, we're like, well, which state would we choose? And it was like this great moment of clarity of like, we want to be in Colorado. We've always wanted to be in Colorado, and it was like, all right, all of our decisions from here on out have been made.
That's good. That
From
simplifies
this
life a
decision.
lot.
That's like a lesson this year, I think, for both of us is like make the one decision that makes 10 other decisions for
That's
you.
perfect. I like that. That's good.
I'll leave it with that. That sounds good.
So we do have your contact information up on the screen. Heath and Alyssa at heathandalyssa.com and
Will you blow kisses?
theRVEntrepreneur.com.
Blow night kisses.
Campgroundbooking.com.
We have
I don't know,
a
whatever
brand
how
new
many .coms do you
ideas.com.
have?
We have howtostartacampground.com. I'm gonna get that started after I learn how to start a campground.
Well,
And
on the
you
list.
better buy the URL. Brian Ott is on here. He buys URLs.
Hey,
as soon
I
as
have it. I own it. It was $5.
What is it? The one that James Todd set up for me.
Oh gosh.
WhatHeathLoves.com.
Oh, there you go.
It's something like that.
It's just
HeathWildIdeas.com.
Or it's like what Heath wants for dinner or something like that, and it redirects to a Pinterest search for quesadilla recipes.
I didn't set that up.
That's one
Yeah.
of those that. That's one of those that you're drunk one night and you just think, oh, we should have this URL.
You've got to have that. Right? It'll make millions.
Britain Ninja, sorry about that, out of Normal said, make one decision that makes 10 other decisions easier. Great advice. So, very nice. Very, very nice.
My new motto.
So, and then we'll put in the show notes information about y'all's new course. But they can find that at heathandalyssa.com, correct?
Yep.
HeathAndAlyssa.com/school.
School.
It's in our RV Entrepreneur School.
And that,
Like 12 other courses.
right. And this one has a small price, but you also are so amazing at giving away so much free stuff. So definitely, folks, if you want to find out more, go into their website and learn.
Deadpool says thumbs
Yay,
up for nearby
like,
breweries.
Yeah, that's a big thing for campgrounds. New breweries, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, Heath and Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
it has
thanks for
been a
having
blast
us.
catching
And
up
in
with
real
you.
life.
And
Yeah,
Lee.
IRL.
IRL. Who gets to do this anymore?
I know, it's exciting. It was very fun. I liked it. And nice scenery.
I had a view of the river the whole time. And the Target, but
We
mostly
had
the
a
river.
beautiful view of a Winnebago Forza that will be on the market probably soon.
That's true. We're turning it back in. But we also got a wonderful view of Padgett, which is much more important. Right? Right, Dana? I'm right.
All right, y'all have a wonderful evening. Well, we'll say
bye,
goodbye to you in a
Thanks for
minute.
tuning
We'll
in.
say goodbye to the camera, and we'll say goodbye to you later,
Yes.
since we're on your property.
All right. Yes. Yes. It was good to see them. So fun. Yes. Okay.
I think that's all.
Is that
No,
all?
we don't have a game tonight.
We don't have a game
We don't have trivia. We don't have anything. We are out of ideas. So
No, we're not out of ideas. We're just not having.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to want to talk for a long time. With
yeah, so
Padgett,
yeah,
so
we're
we didn't play anything.
how many minutes into this now? We're almost an hour into
I
this.
know. That's what I'm saying.
That's
so
crazy.
it's all good.
All right.
So two reminders. One, the Make Money in RV Summit ended yesterday, so I think you might be able to see something still for free. But if you are interested, there's lots of great presentations, including the Padgetts did one last year that's on there. We did one. I'm not saying that was great. I'm just
Oh,
saying
it was
we did
awesome.
it.
And there's an Easter egg in ours. There's a chipmunk in the background. So watch it and keep an eye out for the chipmunk.
Yeah, he was very busy. At any rate, but you can find that link in show notes if you're interested in purchasing. She has some VIP packages that aren't very much that you can purchase and get to watch the presentations at your leisure. Dana, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, thanks for joining us, Dana.
Yeah, anytime. Please join. Come back. And then next week, we are having another one of our reschedules. So as y'all might know, the Passions were
this is
very
rescheduling
sweet.
day.
Yes, it is. Very sweet to come back because we tried to talk to them back in, I don't know, was it August?
Yeah,
August,
it was a
September.
hot
And
day
it was hot
in
and our
August.
computer overheated
Yeah,
at a brewery.
at a brewery, at an unair-conditioned brewery.
Yes.
So let that be a lesson to you.
Don't go
Don't
in
go
there.
into
Anyway,
unair-conditioned
but so
breweries.
they were sweet to come back, and then next week we have another reschedule with Chris and Sherry.
That's because Deborah forgot to
Sherry.
do something that and it didn't.
Don't blame your wife. That's not smart, right,
didn't
Johnny?
record.
That's
Didn't-
not smart.
Didn't record. So
Yes.
anyway, enough
So we
about
got
that.
just us.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're going to be back on next week.
And this
Pending,
is-
pending.
Oh, that's
Hurricane
right.
Delta.
There is a Hurricane
Yes,
Delta
there is
coming
a.
in.
So we might be trying to talk to them and try to remember to record it this
But
time.
this, I mean, they are so amazing at what they do, and it's all about internet connectivity on the road, and probably one of the most hot topics for our goers. So
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
tell all your
for
friends.
sure, the one we get asked next. Yeah, absolutely. So that's all I have. And in the outro, we have some beautiful pictures from this area,
so
right?
like you mentioned earlier, we're here scouting for a photography workshop for Benton Downs. This time next year, we're going to do a fall photography workshop, and it is just stunningly gorgeous here. So this one is just a few shots. It's a real short one, a few shots from County Road 7. So if you are in the area, I suggest you ride down that. It's not too difficult. It's a little bumpy, but you don't need four-wheel drive. Right, Mark? So it is a beautiful road, so we'll play you out with that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Scott. And Johnny, I agree. Bradbury. So you guys take care, and we will see you around the campfire.
Sounds great. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Drive the same roads every day. We both get there our own way. Thistle and an apple tree, how different two souls can be. But we both grow from the same sorrow. If we both know we'll be together tomorrow, I can be like a tree in the wind. Same old roots, but I can bend, turning to understand and sway together. Now it's almost like a dance, the rendering of stubbornness, and it just cuts us deeper through the longer I'm away from you. Yeah, we fight good, we make love better if we both know we'll be together forever. I can be like the tree in the wind, same old roots, but I can bend, learning to understand and sway together.